If you look at the villages, or if you look at urban slums where people do not have the proper housing, proper healthcare facilities, they do not have the access to the proper healthcare facilities, and quality education is not provided for them. And here, mere providing education is not sufficient. The quality education, vocational education or professional education is required to get an employment in the job market, especially in the global job market. If you look at the educational institutions, whether schools or colleges, in fact, we are talking about the quality education and global education. But most of the government-sponsored educational institutions where majority of the students are from the weaker sections do not have the proper facilities. So the point is that how this empowerment would be possible. All the time we are talking about social, economic and political empowerment of the people. So my opinion is that empowerment would be possible when all the sections of the people are provided with these basic amenities or basic facilities to enhance their socio-economic status. Then I can say another thing, that most of the students pursuing general education do not have the professional skills that are required to get an employment in the job market. Even Professor Asad Saab was mentioning about in his keynote address distribution of land. Land is the main source of income for majority of the people in rural areas. But even today, large amount of cultivable land is in the hands of the rich. So therefore, there is a social and economic divide in the country. There is so much of disparity, more specifically economic disparity between the rich and the poor. You see the kind of education. The education provided to the poor is altogether different from the education provided to the rich. In the same country, certain social groups, have hundreds and thousands of crores worth properties. The other side, large number of people are suffering for basic needs, suffering even for food. So, in such a situation, empowerment would not be possible. But in spite of these conditions, my suggestion to the weaker sections, especially here, since many students are there, and I think I know most of the students are from rural areas, you please make use of the facilities, whatever the facilities that are available for you. బహుశా తెలుగు కూడా అర్థమవుతుంది అనుకుంటా. చాలా మంది అమ్మాయిలు అబ్బాయిలు గ్రామాలలోకి వెళ్ళి వచ్చారు. దయచేసి మీరు ఎడ్యుకేషన్ మీద ఫోకస్ చేయండి. ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇస్ ద ఓన్లీ ఇన్స్ట్రుమెంట్ టు ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ యువర్ లైఫ్. రైట్? You can achieve the higher positions in the society. You can achieve the higher social and economic status in future only through education. Because I am also civil services trainer, that is why always I tell that you please aim for civil services examination. ముఖ్యంగా అమ్మాయిలకు బహుశా తెలుగు వస్తుంది అనుకుంటా కదమ్మా. మీరందరూ కూడా సివిల్ సర్వీసెస్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్ పైన ఫోకస్ చేయండి. మీకు మీ లెక్చరర్స్ నుంచి గైడెన్స్ తీసుకోండి. ప్రొఫెషనల్ స్కిల్స్, ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఇంగ్లీష్ లాంగ్వేజ్ స్కిల్స్, తర్వాత కంప్యూటర్ స్కిల్స్, తర్వాత ఇన్ డెప్త్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఇన్ యువర్ సబ్జెక్ట్, ఈ మూడింటి మీద బాగా ఫోకస్ చేయండి. దెన్ ఓన్లీ యూ కెన్ అచీవ్ ఎ గుడ్ పొజిషన్. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ గర్ల్స్ ఎక్కువ ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి నేను ముఖ్యంగా గర్ల్స్ కి చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే, యూ ప్లీజ్ ఎక్సెల్ ఇన్ యువర్ స్టడీస్ అండ్ గో ఫర్ హైయర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్. డోంట్ స్టాప్ యువర్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఆఫ్టర్ కంప్లీషన్ ఆఫ్ యువర్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ కోర్స్. Go for post-graduation or some professional courses and appear for national level competitive examinations, and so that you can enhance your social and economic status in future. So economic empowerment would be possible only through education. And again I would like to tell you that poverty is not the constraint for your achievement. మీరు చాలా మంది పేద కుటుంబాలకి వచ్చి ఉంటారు, కానీ పేదరికం అనేటటువంటిది మీ విజయానికి ఆటంకం కాదు. కాబట్టి దయచేసి నేను చెప్పేది ఏంటంటే, యూ ప్లీజ్ ఫోకస్ ఆన్ యువర్ స్టడీస్, వర్క్ హార్డ్ అండ్ ఎయిమ్ ఫర్ ద నేషనల్ లెవెల్ కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్ ఆర్ ట్రై టు ఎంటర్ ఇన్ టు ద గ్లోబల్ మార్కెట్ బై అక్వైరింగ్ సర్టన్ ప్రొఫెషనల్ స్కిల్స్. Then only economic empowerment would be possible, whether a student is from scheduled caste or scheduled tribe or Muslim minority. So this is my suggestion, and definitely in future I would like to see few IAS, IPS and IRS officers from this batch from Government Degree College Jehirabad. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity. వాస్తవంగా ఇంకా చాలా మాట్లాడాలనుకున్నాను కానీ టైం లేదు. చైర్మన్ గారు 5 నిమిషాలే ఇచ్చారు. సో ఐ హావ్ టు జస్ట్ ప్రజెంట్ మై వ్యూస్, దీస్ వ్యూస్. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. విష్ యూ ఆల్ ది బెస్ట్. నేను మాత్రం మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్నా, మీ బ్యాచ్ నుండి అమ్మాయిలలో నుండి లేదా అబ్బాయిలైనా కూడా కనీసం ఒక 4-5 ఐఏఎస్ ఆఫీసర్లు కావాలా. ఇవాళ కమిషనర్ గారు మాట్లాడినారు, అట్లా మీరు కూడా ఐఏఎస్ ఆఫీసర్ అయ్యి మీరు కూడా ఇలాంటి సెమినార్స్ మీరు ఇనాగ్రేట్ చేయాలి, ఆ స్టేజ్కి వెళ్ళాలి. అప్పుడే మనం ఎంపవర్మెంట్ అంటాం దాన్ని, అప్పుడే ఎంపవర్మెంట్ అనేటువంటిది సాధ్యమవుతుంది. కాబట్టి ఫోకస్ ఆన్ యువర్ స్టడీస్. అట్లీస్ట్ కొద్ది మంది అయినా కూడా ఒక టాప్ లెవెల్ ఆఫీసర్స్ లేదా బ్యాంక్ ఆఫీసర్స్ లేదా గవర్నమెంట్ అఫీషియల్స్ లేదా లెక్చరర్స్ లేదా యూనివర్సిటీ ప్రొఫెసర్స్ ఇలాంటివి ఏం చేసి కొన్ని మీరు చదవండి. డెఫినెట్లీ యూ విల్ కమ్ అప్ ఇన్ యువర్ లైఫ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ. విష్ యూ ఆల్ ది బెస్ట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Thank you, Ganesh ji. I request Najibullah Saab to come on the dais and have few words.
Respected chairperson of the session, dignitaries on the dais and of the dais, the principal of the degree college, my friend and Dr. House, the organizer and my dear students. I take this opportunity of 5 minutes to discuss with you the very 3 essential pillars of democracy, that is liberty, equality and freedom. So equality, freedom and justice. Why I am talking about this is because we all call India is the largest democracy. We know this is true also. The kind of exercise is happening in India, with crores of people are participating, is really a great example for the democracy. But what is the purpose of democracy? We are democratic, but we are not having equality. Democratic, but not enjoying liberty. And democratic, but there is no justice. It means that there is no democracy. So, democracy, to be in true sense, we should have a society where we enjoy these things. Again, there is a kind of enigma where no, if you have these three kinds of things, only then we can enjoy true democracy. For example, you all may be very much delighted and elated about the Indian becoming the Prime Minister of Britain, Rishi Sunak. This is possible because the society has achieved to a great extent equality and freedom, and it is able to pass on this to its citizens. Then they have a great democratic culture there. So, from that concept, that sense, if we see, are we really after 75 years, have we achieved the kind of democratic values? If we have really got the democratic values to that level, really we need not talk about political participation, marginalized sections, because democracy means by the people. Then you don't discriminate who is SC, ST, BC or OC. Every citizen will equally participate, whether he is a Muslim. Every citizen will be equally eligible to become the Prime Minister, just like it happened in England. So, what is there is, I personally as a political science student, I feel that there is a lot has to be achieved. Really, we are a democratic government, but democracy of the degree, are we going towards that? Are we going below that? This is a time, this is a very important time, the 75th year of independence. We have to reflect. From here, we are taking the democratic values up or down. How? If we are giving more liberty to the people, then we are taking it up. That means, are we really free? Free enough? We are free really. But are we free enough? Am I free to talk fear, whatever I want to talk without fear and without losing any due favor? Is it possible now? Then that is the bedrock on which we can judge what is the kind of democracy. You can all see. Now people free media talks about not free things. We know media is free, but are they talking freely? No. This is the thing, is a big concern. Coming to the equality, we all know all citizens are equal. The Constitution has given this equality to us all, and it has also made some kind of arrangement for that in the form of reservation. Thanks to that, we can see our people who are hitherto not finding any place in politics now able to sit in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Prime Minister, of course, Prime Minister, also a OBC now. But again, the level of equality did we get? If we really got that kind of equality, we would have not opposed caste census. A OBC is the Prime Minister of India. But we have really got an equality of that level, which is required level. Would have we opposed this caste census? No. That means really we have not got the kind of equality. So there is a gap there. Third, justice. Are we treating all the people equal? No, we are not treating all the people equal again. I am not saying that there is no justice in India. There is a justice, but the kind of justice required for a true democracy, true democratic society. Have you achieved that? No. There are people who have died in prison. We know they were there. No, I don't want to name, but you know people before they have been freed, God while they have gone. And there are some people, very recently a professor has been released thanks to our free judiciary. Again, free judiciary, what is the degree? You should all analyze. As a political scientist, this is the question before us. And with these three important things, I would like to say that these should be the concern, then we really would resolve the issues of participation, the issues of engagement. Otherwise, what is happening in India is our political participation and political engagement is starting and ending with elections. One election, after the election, all of us become active. Then, after the election is over, we will become purely undemocratic. in the sense as democratic only. See, you all know Munugodu election is happening. If we are really equality, all the three, all the three important candidates, they are not representative candidates. They are not representing the constituency frankly. Those going to win, they will not be true representative of that composition of the constituency. That means there is some lacking. I am picking this example because you all know we are all leading. Even though election happening somewhere, you are all involved. And to that extent, then you forget. Then you forget in our daily life how democratic we should be, in our office life, how democratic we should be in parliament. Also, they are not functioning democratically. But at the same time, I want to say that it is not that I don't want to give a complete broad picture. I see hope. I see hope in you people, the young people, because you have seen recently. Sir was also referring to Professor Sati sir. There was a movement has built. Whether it is succeeded, defeated, that's a different thing. But women and we women, they are talking about their rights. They are not talking about we. They are not saying that we want to be. They are talking that we have the right, and the right comes from the democracy. And this is how I can see there is a big future, not only in you, but also all the young people of India. One day they realize what they are losing in the name of game of democracy. The game of democracy which makes the numerous people the rulers, and what kind of things they are using. Are they asking votes in the name of equality? Are they asking vote in the name of freedom? Are they asking that they will provide justice? Or they are talking about other things? You should realize and you should question. The day you question and you ask these questions, we want these three things from you, not other things. Then certainly you will be setting right the political system, and that is lies in your hand. So मैं उर्दू में 2-3 बातें करूंगा क्योंकि सर ने तेलुगु में बोला, तो मैं यही बातें मेरे पूरे किताब का लबलवाब ये था कि जमहूरियत 3 बुनियादों पे है: आज़ादी, मसावात और इंसाफ। समाज में इंसाफ कैसे आए और आज़ादी किसकी होनी चाहिए और मसावात कैसे होनी चाहिए, इसके बारे में अगर हम तो बताते हैं, पढ़ाते हैं, मगर आने वाले जनरेशन इसके नतीजे आपको भुगतना है, तो इसके बारे में आप लोगों को सोचना है। और पढ़ना तो है, पढ़ के आप अपने अच्छे मुकाम को हासिल करना है, मगर एक पॉलिटिकल बीइंग एज ए सोशल साइंटिस्ट, पॉलिटिकल साइंस के स्टूडेंट होने के नाते मैं कहता हूँ आपको बी ए पॉलिटिकल बीइंग। अगर अरिस्टोटल ने कहा था मैन इज ए पॉलिटिकल एनिमल, अगर हम पॉलिटिकल नहीं है तो एनिमल हो जाएंगे सिर्फ। तो टू बी true man, true individuals, we need to be political and rightly political by asking right questions. I expect these things from you and hope these seminars are very well organized by this staff of this beautiful college, and particularly my friend Dr. Ghaus, and principal also, interestingly, he is my old friend. So I'm really happy to see this good gathering here in a so disciplined way, listening to our dignitaries, learning many things. This will really help you in going far away and also help our nation give it a strong foundation and do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Najullah sir. I now request Dr. Venkat Raman to have his words.
Respected Chairman Sir, Afroz Alam Sir, Senior Professor of Usmania University, Professor Ganesh Sir, Najibullah Garu, Masudan Reddy, and my other friend. In fact, government degree colleges in remote areas have so many problems. Holding a national seminar in a remote village or a semi-urban area is really a challenging task. I congratulate the principal, Aslam Farooqi Saab, and Muhammad Ghaus Saab for conducting this seminar. And the very topic of the seminar is also very interesting. Political engagement of underprivileged
and authoritative allocation of values. In fact, the very phrase authoritative allocation of values, the very phrase is used by an American political scientist. An American political scientist, soon after the Second World War, he wrote a book that's called Political System. In that he mentioned the phrase authoritative allocation of values. How to improve the political culture of societies, how to bring political development, how to make people, more and more people participate in the political system. These were the questions. So to answer these questions, he wrote a book called Political System. In this, he has mentioned authoritative allocation of values. There are three words here: authoritative allocation of values. Here, the political system uses its authority to allocate the welfare policies, the social policies, the cultural values to the people. So the political system has an authority, and with this authority, it distributes. For example, the Telangana government is distributing double bedroom houses, Dalita Bandhu Palakam. All these things are called as economic benefits. They are called as the economic values. Likewise, the political values, the social values, the cultural values. How the values are distributed in the political system is the main crux of the book. And this wonderful phrase is applied to the Indian political system by the seminar's coordinator, Gausa, and how he has brought in the authoritative allocation of values to the Indian context. So, as it is mentioned, Indian society has so many underprivileged communities, and there is also a lot of political engagement. As our Professor Asadi Saab was mentioning, there are around 195 forms of political engagement in India, out of which, during the Telangana movement, youth used to commit suicides. Suicide was used as a form of political protest. May I call it as political engagement? Some maybe. So this is how there are different forms. When we get anger, when we demand something, we make a protest. We demand something. So when we demand, then the system responds. Then the government responds. So when people do not demand, political system cannot respond. So political system runs with the demands of the people. So by making more demands, you can get the response of the government. Suppose if students want more scholarships, they should demand the government that scholarships should be increased. The money for the scholarship should be increased. If you do not demand that, the government will not do it. So authority only responds, only people demand. So demands are the inputs for the authoritative allocation. This is one thing. And what the government gives, it is called supplies. So this is how outcomes and demands, they run through the political system. This is called authoritative allocation of values. And in India, we all know that we have scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, backward castes, minorities. There are so many communities. And unfortunately, many communities do not even exercise their vote. They do not represent in legislative bodies like assemblies, parliament, or panchayat raj institutions. They are underrepresented. There are so many castes. There are around 4,000 castes in India. All the castes have millions of population, but all the population proportionately has not been representing the legislative bodies. This is one thing. In such a case, how people engage themselves with the political system? This is one thing. Second thing is, when we do not lead a life with the dignity and self-respect, our life is as equivalent as an animal life. So we should lead a life with the dignity and self-respect. For leading a life with dignity and self-respect, how to engage ourselves, how to politically engage ourselves and get the welfare policies of the government. So this is also another important aspect. And of course, theoretically, these are all possible. But practically, the government is allocating so many crores of rupees for welfare of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, backward castes. but outlays are not reflecting in outcomes. There are no results. The poverty is still remaining. Almost the same percentage of poverty prevailing right from decades together. How? How to change our engagement? What could be the new form of engagement that we should adopt to change, to revolutionize our social system and political system? This is another important aspect that we should look into. So friends, this is how the political engagement of underprivileged sections and authoritative allocation of values is given here, and even education itself is a kind of an engagement, as our Professor Ganesh Shah was motivating the students to engage yourself in education. The more education you have, the more respectable life you have. You can have self-respect and dignity in your social life. Thereby, you could know how you can engage yourself in the political system. So, you have set your goals. You are all young people. You are all in teenagers. You are all in the age group of 16 to 25 years. So, you please devote your time on your engagement, on your education. And once you attain your education and you attain your social status and economic status, you can definitely engage yourself and you can demand the political system what to do and what not to do. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Venkat Ramanji. Now I request Madhusudan Reddy ji to skip the introduction and go ahead with the arguments. Thank you.
To all the dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and especially the chairperson of the plenary session. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the Department of Political Science of GDC ZHB on their successfully conducting this great seminar, one-day seminar. I know the paucity of time, what you are looking for, but presenting my paper or talk on this important topic, I just touch upon the main themes of my discussion. See, you all know the entire contemporary debates of political engagement and politics of empowerment.
19.
Just just in one word, the authoritative allocation of values is all about policy making. As the students of political science, you study state, power and public policy. How public policy is made. If you try to know how public policy is made, then you are able to understand the entire political system of any country, of any political system. So it's basically about public policy making. The entire policy making, how people make demands, how they are converted as inputs, and then they are brought out as policies in terms of output. So it's all about engagement. But in India, especially, the political engagement and politics of empowerment basically hinges on social justice, the discourse of social justice. See, what happened before independence and after independence, how the entire concept of the social justice is decided by the state, so that we call the sponsored notion of justice. And quite opposite to sponsored notion of justice, you have great tradition in India of Phule and Ambedkar. They engaged with the contest, struggle notion of justice. So what happened for the last after independence for about 3 decades,